walking into the screen here today to meet with our boys soccer coach, Shawn Bromelkamp again. We've had a few games now under our belt for the first few weeks of school, and you guys started off by hosting Concordia Academy.
Yep.
I think the last we talked about that game, you were excited about it. You had talked about the game, I think 2 years ago when it was a close score. You maybe thought you could have had a W there, but just slipped out of your reach.
Yeah.
So let's hear about that home opening game against Concordia Academy of Roseville.
Yeah, it felt started the head coaching career losing 2-1, and then we won this game 4-0. We almost didn't get the game in, actually. If you remember, there was a bunch of storms going on, and we kept checking the radar, seeing if it was going to happen. And looking at other teams' schedules in the area, a lot of them didn't get their games in. So we were fortunate to do that. And it was a nice day for soccer. It barely rained at all, even during our game. And it was good to think you know where your team is at, but then actually competing against a varsity team level, having something to measure up against. And we measured up well against Concordia Academy.
Yeah, finished up with a 3-0 shutout, is that right?
4-0.
4-0, okay.
Academy was.
Yep, I remember that now. So great start. You had a few kids score that night. Do you remember how the scoring went?
Yeah,
a while ago now.
I think Jacob Goodman put in 2, Josh Buechel had 1, and if I remember correctly, Mason Scripture had the other one.
Okay, good. Mix of a couple upper class
Yeah.
seniors and then a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
No, Scripture's a junior.
Scripture's a junior this year.
So good. Then you did travel to Faribault and then Cannon Falls. Two kind of totally opposite games there.
Definitely.
Now I never want to lose a game going into it, but maybe a wake up call for some of the kids going to Faribault, because they come back and play pretty well after that. So about the Faribault game, what things maybe didn't go well there?
Yeah, and maybe it was good that was early in the season too, or instead of us hitting our stride and then we drop an egg, something like that. But Faribault's a bigger school, a good team. Sometimes you look at bigger schools' schedules and they maybe play against other bigger schools and the records aren't as good, but you know that they're playing against top competition. I know that was, speaking about the game before, it was a bunch of rain. We had rain for about a week straight, and so when we get to the field's grass is like jungle level because with all the rain they haven't been able to mow anything for so long.
Right.
The ball did not move at all like we're used to on the turf. But you know what, Faribault, at least in that game, was bigger and they're stronger, and once you let a couple goals in, it's tough to get the guys back focused onto the idea that we can win this game. And bigger, stronger, better team that day, but Faribault was. But I think if we had another shot at it, it'd be a much closer game.
Yeah, that's kind of what the kids were saying too.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mentality, and we bounced back nicely against Cannon Falls. We were kind of frustrated in the Cannon Falls game. Actually, it was 0-0 to halftime, and we kept feeling like, well, we should have had 2-3 goals in by this point.
Yeah.
And Cannon Falls, to their credit, was playing kind of a defensive, you won't get anything past us mindset in that first half, and I think it was meant to kind of frustrate opponents because, in a game of soccer, if you can defend well and then get one breakaway, you can win some low-scoring games, and I think that's what they were looking to do, but we got 3 in the second half and finished the game strong there.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot in the games that I've viewed this year. Just once that first goal goes in, I feel like everyone kind of relaxes, and then the team that gives up the goal, I feel like they're then really pressing and almost a letdown, and the team that scored the goal relaxes and they punch in a couple more quick ones after that.
It can definitely work that way.
That's good to bounce back there. So you brought a 2-1 record into one of the perennial area powers where we hosted Rochester Lourdes on that Tuesday night, another beautiful night. And you played one of the better games that I guess since I've become the activities director here that our boys have played. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think there's always something we're playing Lourdes, we got to bring it all here. And the boys are going to be looking at their record versus our record and what's been going on in the last couple of years. But really, they were just, regardless of what the record was, they said, this is Lourdes. We know who Lourdes is. Yeah. Last year, I think it was if I remember, it was either a 4-0 or 5-0 loss to Lourdes. The year before, I think it was something like 8 or 9-0 against Lourdes. And, we were right there with them. We played tough. We played hard. The coach Coach Kane mentioned to me afterwards that it's one of the hardest working teams he's ever seen around here for Cass, and he's been around for a while. We actually had what looks like a game-winning goal scored in the second half with only a couple of minutes left off the corner kick. And a very rare call called the banana kick rule came in, and it was a corner kick where the ref said that the corner kick went out of bounds and then back inbounds for us to score the goal. Really rare that happens, and not being a physics teacher or anything, but the wind was blowing the opposite direction for that to even be possible. So it felt like it was right there. In some ways, it's satisfying to get a win against a top team like Lourdes, but it also is a little disappointing thinking that we were right there the whole time and even had an opportunity, and we didn't end up getting that last goal.
Yeah. So it ended in a 1-1 tie. I was curious as to what that rule was. I didn't know if offsides was somehow called.
No.
But the ball did go in the net and banana kick. So yeah, I did not know that. Another really two neat things that also occurred that night is your assistant coach Rick and yourself worked with the youth group to set up some games at halftime where we saw kind of the future of Comet soccer out there, and a bunch of support from the Comet Youth Soccer Association, which is really neat. And then also you mentioned, Coach Kane mentioned that about your team, and he also had some really neat things to say to me about you guys as a whole and a coaching staff. He just said that's in all respect to all of the coaches that have coached our group before, he just said that was one of the most well-coached Comets teams that he's faced, and he's been there a long time, obviously, with his dad, and so that was really cool, and hats off to you and your staff for that comment as well. Then you traveled Thursday to Winona, and then Saturday to Penn. So 2 games to kind of finish off the week. The next week, actually, you had a little time off there. Winona sounded like a very competitive game again down there. Was it on Paul Gale Field, their turf?
Yep.
Okay. Maybe just a quick comment on that one.
Winona's really fast. Winona's really strong. We felt like we were there. We had shots at the end. We focused a little bit more on offense when we realized we need to get a goal to equalize this one, and one bounced off the post. One was a great, amazing goalie save. One we probably weren't crashing as well as we should have been, and so we were there. But Winona deserved that win, and I think our boys kind of left feeling like we could have also deserved that win.
Yep.
But it was a long drive. We would have liked to have made the long drive and come out with a win, but we came out with a really close game against a really good team.
Yeah, and similar to the girls, that was the home game that night, so I did watch that one. They came up short as well, but kind of the same comments that Coach Soderberg made yesterday is we're probably going to see them again come section time, and then maybe the tables are turned, and it's better to learn from that loss now and maybe take advantage of it in the future. And then Saturday, another great day over at Eckstein Field in Plainview, Minnesota. You guys took on the Bulldogs from Plainview to Millville, and were victorious again.
Yeah, we got I think our first goal within a minute and a half. Helped us feel a little bit more confident in ourselves, and I think the boys came in pretty confident. I tell them one of the players brings this big rocker speaker with lights and space built into it, and they like singing on the ride home. And I tell them that there's no singing on the bus unless you're taking the win. So I think they were kind of trying to find themselves a way to reward themselves. They said, "Oh, coach, we're gonna win it. Don't worry about it." But they had to play a soccer game against a varsity level team in the Penn Bulldogs in order to make that happen. And I think the confidence right off the bat helped them out. It was the first time this season Lars Ingram, our usual goalie, got to see some field time. So Dalton, who played a lot of goalie for us last year, got to play in goal. And it was good. 5-1. You feel good whenever you get a multi-goal win, and we felt good walking away that Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah, it was kind of fun. The girls played right before you guys did, and your guys were warming up and cheering them on. It was kind of fun to hear over there at Plainview. So, quick note: the 2 upcoming games. You travel to Lake City and then host Jordan on Saturday. So. Lake City, I've seen, I remember watching them a year ago, and they've got some pretty talented kids. They've got a couple, pretty big wins, I would say, for their program early this fall. And what can you tell us about them?
Well, Lake City, it's going to be an away game at Lake City, and they've got one of the smaller fields in the area here. So sometimes that can just change the way you're going to be playing it. With, on our turf, we've got a big field, but the ball rolls far.
Yeah.
And on their fields, the ball maybe doesn't roll as far, but the field is smaller in itself. Maybe some fewer opportunities to go fully diagonal, or we have to be more careful with those. And Lake City is one of those teams where, they've had some solid wins. They've had a win over Byron. They've had some games that make you scratch your head, like, where is Lake City right now? Are they one of the top teams, or are they a team that's still, up and down and struggling to find themselves? And I think we'll find out tomorrow night. It's one of those games where I don't really know what to see on the field, but I think the boys are going to have that same confidence that they had, where, don't worry, we're winning, we're singing on the way back. And that's what I hope is going to be happening on the way back.
Well, that's cool. Well, good luck in that one. And then Saturday will be the epilepsy game on our home game, Telcom Stadium. And then you have a bunch of home games after that in a row. So
it's nice to get some home games in a row.
And so that'll be fun. But good luck tomorrow night, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Good comments.